Welcome back to the Achilles channel, everyone. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about capitalism. Apparently, according to Frank Luntz, who is a word man and he's a pollster, is what he is. He has come out and said that capitalism is a dirty word in the United States of America, and that anybody running for a political position in the United States of America, in Congress or what have you, should steer clear of the word capitalism. I can't remember what he used, what he wanted to use as a replacement of that. I can't remember. But I don't care. I really don't care. I want to know what in the hell is going on in the United States of America where now capitalism is a bad word. A lot of people are under the impression that capitalism, unfettered capitalism, has got us to where we are today. That couldn't be further from the truth, because never has the free market been unfettered. Never. The reason why our country is where it is today is because of corrupt, targeted regulations created to fail, to destroy capitalism, to usher in communism, government control over the people and businesses. It's simple. That's where we're headed. That is where we are headed. Why does the administration embrace capitalism in front of the camera but undermine it with every policy? It's because they're lying to you. They're not capitalists. They're anti-capitalists pretending to be capitalists. Because the only way you can run a capitalist country is if you tell everybody you're a capitalist. Saul Alinsky says you can't go into a Jewish Orthodox community to organize eating a ham sandwich. You must drop the radical pose for the radical ends. You must look like a capitalist. You must talk like a capitalist and act like a capitalist. Do you understand? But if you listen to these people closely, you'll hear that they are not capitalists. Barney Frank the other day, with graduating college students at some meeting, I don't even know what it was, but this is what he said. Barney Frank said that to change the system, young people need to give them more authority. Give the government more authority to change the system. He said what they've done so far, he's not even satisfied. They want more. The radicals are coming out to these Democratic politicians, leftists, and are demanding to get what they paid for. Right now, the Democrats have the majority in Congress, okay? Come November, they're not going to have the majority any longer. These radicals want them to immediately grab this country, steal this country from the majority of the people who want to remain a sovereign country with personal liberties, individual liberties is the paramount to our country. But they want collectivism, a handful of people. Do you understand? And they're willing to use violence and threats. They were throwing stuff at Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi says that the Tea Party people are dangerous, right? But then she walks through the crowd during the signing of the health care bill. Against the will of the people, she walked through the crowd. Nobody threw anything at her. But yet she goes to a friendly speech, or a friendly group, organization. They all got together. Friendly to her cause. And they were throwing stuff at her because they're not taking this country fast enough. With this financial bill, they'll have 70%. The government will control 70% of the economy in the United States of America. That is unprecedented. That is not freedom. That is not capitalism in any way, shape, or form. That is communism. That's what that is. Government control over the free market? Government control over the people's lives? I want someone to comment to me and tell me where that how that even sounds like freedom. Or where that's written, freedom. is when government controls everything. Because it's not that way. Andy Stern says the free market has failed. Why won't the President of the United States come out in clear words and tell the American people that capitalism has failed and that this is what he is going to do, and he can lay out his plan? Because if he does that, we will reject him. Everyone will reject him. Everybody already is, really. But the people who are still sitting on the fence would reject him if he came out and told the truth. He is a subversive, working within the system to undermine our system, to destroy capitalism, the new dirty word in America. Targeted regulations is what is destroying this country. Corrupt, targeted regulations. For example, I am going to blame this oil spill on the environmentalists in the United States of America who control our environmental policy. They push these oil rigs so far out into the ocean that it's impossible to cap it if it breaks. Impossible. A human being can't go down there. If that was closer, President Barack Obama said this himself, if that was closer to shore, it would have been capped in a day or two. And the devastation that is about to hit around the world, the Gulf, because the United States is not the only country that has that is in the Gulf. We've got Mexico, we've got Cuba. When all of these plumes start hitting other countries, we're going to have an international incident. It's going to be an outcry. Do you understand? They pushed them out there. The environmentalists knew that an accident is inevitable. Eventually, this is like the first one, I believe, but I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to happen eventually, and it did. This is BP's fault for what happened there. But this oil still gushing today is the environmentalists' fault. They said, no, that we need to push them way out there because we can't have them too close to the coastline because it will ruin the environment in case of an oil spill. All that did is make drilling more difficult and impossible and deadly to cap. What it didn't do was protect the environment in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it made it worse because there's now millions of gallons more floating around out there than would have been if it was close enough to shore. The banks, they targeted deregulation to get banks to go along with the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act, which gave loans to people who couldn't afford them, which collapsed the financial system. And these banks saw massive short-term gains for their shareholders and the people who went along with the CRA. Pockets full of money. And the banks had a promise from the government that they bail them out. This is the government that gave this to the banks. The government, with a designed program that was designed to fail. The Community Reinvestment Act was designed to fail. The insurance companies, they regulated in such a way that it took the right of American people to buy insurance wherever they wanted, which created monopolies within the insurance companies, which drove up prices, which meant the insurance companies could do whatever they want. They didn't have to pay claims if they didn't want to, because where are you going to go? You got no other place to go. And the government did that to the American people. And then blamed the insurance companies when it happened as if they had nothing to do with it whatsoever, and now they want more power to go in. Everybody says that these bills are watered down. They're not. They kicked the door open. They kicked the door open. Next January, rates are going to go up on insurance companies. It's going to start the reformation process for single payer. You watch. That's what's happening here. There's going to be riots in the streets pretty soon, and it's going to be the left, because the left knows in November, this government, they believe in November that this government's not going to have the power. But every single bill, what those bills are is it takes power from the Congress and gives it to the executive branch. Every bill has wording in it that takes power from the Congress. You know what the Congress is? The people. The executive branch will have all decision making. It will take all power away from Congress. That's what they're doing. With every bill that gets passed. Excuse me, that gets passed. We need to wake up and see what's happening quickly. We need to elect the right people. We need to remember, we need to embrace capitalism. Because with capitalism, it's the only true way to freedom. Communism, you're not going to get freedom. You're not. People are not in charge. The government is. God bless America.